Hello everyone and welcome to Investors Day Techcelerator Portfolio Showcase, a two-day rally that will showcase the best teams from two of our newest programs. I'm Aaaand and I'm delighted to be your host today. As mentioned before, this event marks the end of two acceleration programs that we have run in the last 3 months. It's about number one, it's Advancing AI, batch number 2, which is addressing products built with artificial intelligence technologies. And the second one, 1 million investment readiness, batch number 1, a program dedicated to startups developing scalable products that want to become ready for their next investment round. Today, I invite you to have a sneak peek of our AI-based companies. 9 startups ready to rock the EU startup stage and to bring AI closer to various industries, from medtech to manufacturing. Advancing AI fuels the AI-based rocket ships from South and Eastern Europe, and we are excited to be part of the European AI ecosystem. Today, we talk about the status quo of AI companies and what is the approach of these investors when it comes to these companies. Today, we are honored to have as guests some top-notch investors from the local and international landscape. In addition, you are going to meet 9 startups that build AI products and that have recently graduated from the Advancing AI Batch number 2 program by Techcelerator. So now let's meet again a part of the team behind Techcelerator. We have with us Cristina Tsoncu, co-founder. Hello, Cristina, and welcome.
Hello everyone. Thank you.
Also, we have Andreea Purcaru, program lead, and hello, Andreea, and welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
And also, of course, we have Cristian Dascălu, who is co-founder of Techcelerator. Hello, Cristian, and thank you for joining us.
Hi to all, thank you.
So, hello, guys. First of all, let us know about the Advancing AI and your interest in AI.
I will start. Thank you very much, Adrian. Welcome, everybody. My name is Cristina Tsoncu. I'm co-founder of Techcelerator. I'm happy to be here with you. Thanks for joining us in this afternoon. I would like to start with the start. We've started in 2018 as an accelerator program. So 3.5 years ago, we have been only one program, but now we have transformed ourselves into a solid brand and an organization with multiple programs and activities for startups according to their maturity and according to their needs. So we have learned valuable lessons in all this time from our founders. We have attracted strong partnerships, and we are constantly watching the trends worldwide. So I would mention as one of our programs, I would mention Scale Match. It's a 2-day event of matchmaking event dedicated to startups with some traction from Southeast Europe. So not only from Romania, whom we want to present to the venture capital partners that we are connected and we work with from Europe. So we already rolled 3 editions this year of a Scale Match. We have organized more than 240 speed meetings with them, and they remained under our radar because according to their needs and maturity, we can invite them to our acceleration programs. I would mention also a new program that we have designed and launched this summer. It's a 1 million investment readiness program. This is dedicated to scale-ups, to startups that are looking to raise an investment round and want to be ready, by the book and to learn the process of raising so that they can succeed this process and get the investment they need for scaling. And we will learn about the alumni of this program tomorrow in the second day of this event, the Investment Days event. I would also mention Next FinTech, which is an accelerator program of 4 months dedicated to fintech solutions, and so on. So yes, we have accelerated by now around 80 companies. We add to these 40, 50 startups that we have been working during Scale Match. We have facilitated for these startups the investment rounds around at a total amount of 8.5 million euro. And I would also like to mention and to thank to our partner, because we have consolidated some strong partnerships with some partners without whom we couldn't make it so far. So I would mention Google for Startups, Tech Angels, Seedblink, European Fund for Southeast Europe, the Development Facility, European Fund for Investment, Gapminder, Stripe, HubSpot, and so on. So, but today we invited you to talk a little bit more about our another program of ours. We got there. We are now at batch 2. We are celebrating batch 2. It is Advancing AI. And I would love to invite Andrea as my colleague who she is coordinating this program to let you know more about this accelerator that we are organizing. Thanks, and thanks for joining us. And please, Andrea.
Thank you, Christina. Indeed, even if we have started as an acceleration program, now Techcelerator is more than a brand. Techcelerator is a program with multiple initiatives under its umbrella, and I'm happy to have Advancing AI as one of them. Before any other position, I'm a startupper, first of all, working in a fast-growing medtech company that develops AI. So I'm happy to develop an acceleration program for my peers, hoping to help them grow. During 3 months, we had mentoring sessions, one-to-ones, and boot camps designed for the companies that we have selected. And after the demo day, we'll continue the learning path with some POCs that we are planning to develop together with our enterprise partners. More than that, of course, we are supporting our startups in their funding process. And of course, the accelerator is not only about the learning process, it's all about the community. So we are very happy and proud to join these startups in our community of alumni, alongside more than other 80 startups. Advancing AI is a program designed to help startups from the entire SEE region, not only from Romania. And I'm happy that with this acceleration batch, we succeed to get on board some great companies from the region. For our next batch, our plans are more ambitious. So I encourage all the CE-based startups developing AI solutions, and of course, all of you, to keep an eye on us for our next plans. Thank you, and Christian, you can have the mic now.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Christina, for the recap, and Andrea for the details regarding the Advancing AI. It was a brief pass through all our activities, and on activities on which we are very focused about high-tech startups and the investment into them. And this commitment started a couple of years ago, and it's still a strong commitment, especially for artificial intelligence companies, machine learning, and the other high-tech companies which are developing in the region. And we want to underline this, that we jumped into this topic because the region, it is aligned with all the other parts of the world which are taking this AI activities at the next level, and startups are playing a huge role into this. And we are hugely committed to support with programs, but especially with investment and go-to-market support all the entrepreneurs which are having, or as many entrepreneurs from the region, which are having the courage to step into this environment. From this side, we can tell them that it looks difficult. In many aspects, it is difficult, but as Andrea mentioned, about a huge community which we managed to grow around this topic. We can put it at their availability and to make these steps easier. Also, you'll hear shortly after this event the decision in Gapminder about who will get an investment from the teams which pass through the program. And it's not only about this particular investment, but there are many other opportunities which are under discussion with other investors. And for sure, you'll hear about this. At the start of the year, we managed to put also an AI map all together. To have a mapping and to offer a concrete data-driven overview of what's happening in Romania on AI. And on this map, from these programs, at the next iteration, for sure you'll see at least 20% more companies arriving on that map. And also you'll have the opportunity to see the regional ecosystem on AI, how it looks. I'll underline only on this that AI and machine learning is bringing a huge value into the business of these days. And there are plenty of supporters, especially investors, to support you into this endeavor. So we look forward to meet you and to support you with your idea, with your startup, to take it to the market and take it to the investors.
Thank you very much, Christina. Thank you very much, Andrea. And thank you very much, Cristiana. I knew it was an easy job to be a moderator at this event. Everything is going by itself. It's a piece of cake. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for being so involved in the Southeastern European startup ecosystem. It's clear that Techcelerator is a top-notch partner for the startups in the region. Now let's get a better understanding of how Techcelerator is supporting the Southeastern Europe startups. Let's see its story.
Accelerate your business. It's change you so you can accelerate it.
Quite a journey, I'm sure you agree. 8 batches of acceleration, more than 8 alumni, more than 100 training sessions and more than 100 mentors joined you in this journey. Of course, this would have not been possible without some great partners. So a big thank you goes out to Gapminder VC, Google for Startups, European Investment Fund, TechAngels, and Seedblink. Now, I'm sure you are excited to find out more about the investment landscape and how our AI-based companies integrated within it. So let's move on to the next part of this event, an interactive panel with some of the most representative investors from the local and international landscape of startups that will discuss what's their portfolio strategy for this period and how are they integrating AI companies into their portfolio. So let's dive in some hot topics with Sonia Fedorovich from RocaX. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, hello. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Also, it's here with us Yag Singh, who is a partner at Angel Invest Ventures in Berlin and also ex-managing director at Techstars. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, Adrian. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Also, we have Cosmin Kishore from Gapminder VC. Hello, Cosmin, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, and thank you for inviting, and hello to everybody.
And also, last but not least, we have Mălin Ștefănescu from TechAngels. Hello, Mălin, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, very happy to be here.
So thank you very much, everyone, for being here with us. It's a rainy day, so what can we do best than discuss what's happening in the investment landscape and what's happening in the startup ecosystem? I'll start by asking the following question. A common investment thesis among our panelists is interest in ML companies, M&L companies. So what keeps driving this interest, and how do you separate real potential from buzzwords? I'm curious who's going to start. Maybe Sonia?
I'm going to start.
Thank you.
Yes. So regarding the real interest, and this is very easy, like technology is becoming more and more present and embedded in our daily lives. And we see companies really trying and struggling to keep up with the consumer expectations. So it's normal that also investors too have a real and continuous interest in AI-based products or services. And I personally believe that every industry can take advantage of the opportunity that AI-based services and products can offer to business functions, whether it's in, I don't know, enterprise tools or in traditional industries like manufacturing, construction, platform tooling, you name it, there's a benefit for every industry. And also the real interest, like as we speak now, there's a debate at the European Commission for the proposal of regulating the AI into a regulation that will be applicable in the member states. And everyone we should all pay attention to it, because it's actually the first ever attempt to have a regulation on AI. Probably in 2022, we will see the outcome of this lengthy negotiations that are now happening in parallel at the European Parliament and European Council. And I think also the real potential versus the buzzwords and how you, I don't know, differentiate between them. In our team in RocaX, we try to look, and we look actually for the machine learning that really is essential for providing the service and or the product, and actually to have a service or a product that actually solves a problem, like tackles a real problem in any industry. And I think the most important thing is to look in the market and see
okay, what's the problem I could solve with ML AI based product or services, and have this at the core of solving the problem or providing the service, and take really look at the data that you can access, because and in the end, as we all know, like the machine learning algorithm is as good as the data that you feed it, that you get into it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sonia, for breaking the ice. So let me refresh the question. How do you detect real machine learning companies and from real potential from buzzwords? I myself, as a journalist, I see a lot of press releases where I see a lot of mentions of AI. We get to see water-powered, AI-powered water, AI-powered pizza, AI-powered everything. So at some point, I'm really curious to hear from you. How do you see what's real potential?
Can I say something? Cosmin is speaking.
Yes, please, Cosmin.
Okay, so I think right now the AI is more than a buzzword. It's becoming somehow ubiquitous, and it's not untrue in a way. But I will distinguish between two separate cases. I mean, one case is that you are using machine learning to improve something which is already there. So you are using those, let's say, learning algorithms in order to improve let's say a normal process which you have already, for example, in your business and so on. And then you have the so-called AI first companies. I mean, the companies which are developing products which cannot be done without machine learning and AI. And I think this is a way in which you can distinguish between, as you said, the buzzwords, although it's not, because it's becoming more and more ubiquitous in most digital products. And the products or services which cannot exist without machine learning and AI. I think these are the two cases, and it's you can figure it out. I mean, if a company, for example, it's trying to understand, let's say, the usage of NLP algorithms, for example, it cannot be done. It cannot be done without this. And if this is the center of the company, I think this is how you distinguish between an AI company and, let's say, the AI buzzword companies, put it like this.
Okay, thank you very much. You made some good points, Cosmin. Let's hear from the other panelists.
Yeah, so I'll jump in here. I think you know, from the top 30,000 foot level view, we are investing in technical teams that can show us signs that they can ship code fast to potential clients. Obviously, many of them use AI. We're not specifically looking for AI on its own. And actually, just on the AI ML front, we're probably seeing three different types of teams. There's at our stage, early stage, and sometimes we're the first check-in. We were the first check-in to Raza, for example. You know, there's three types of teams that we tend to meet most often. First, there's the ones where the initial product is not quite taking off, and the team is stuck in just iterating on a very weak product market fit. And then you have teams where, you know, they have a very rough prototype, but no data to test it or train it. And then the third batch are basically the ones with no clients to test their prototypes. And at every stage, you know, it involves us having to roll our sleeves up and jump in. So if a team has that initial product and it's not taking off, well, we probably need to do some broad cohort testing, right? Like, and so they shouldn't go for incremental changes. We want to support those teams with testing very substantially different cohorts very quickly to get signs of those 10x, 100x opportunities. So, you know, we've got experience doing this. We've all been founders. You know, I started my career before I became an investor. I was a founder and I was a CTO. So it's all about spending time with those teams and showing them how to do this. And then you pick up signals very quickly. And then for the teams with, for the teams that have a rough prototype, then, you know, we're just going to be able to, we're going to open our network up to introduce you and give you access to APIs and databases. It's purely simple. And then if you can do something with that, great, we want to invest. And then if you have no clients to test your prototype, that's also where investors like us can come in and open our networks to find those initial test clients to test out those very crappy beta products. Because as we all know, AI ML products tend to be very, very crap, when they're starting out. It takes years to make, some minor perfections. So, and then a big part of being an investor is also helping these teams overcome the problem of not having credibility to convince a larger customer, like a corporate, for example, to try something really new. So that's the way that we kind of look at it from this side.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing this. Malin, let's hear also your perspective.
Well, first of all, I have to disclose that I graduated computer science and I majored in artificial intelligence. So I have a clue about how to detect the real ones to the fake ones. Now, we have to understand that artificial intelligence is a tool like any other technological, discovery. So, and sometimes as human intelligence, it can be, high or it can be low. It can be, stupid artificial intelligence. You can call a checklist if you wish artificial intelligence, but it's not really what we understand out of it. And being a tool is important. It has to be, however, complete with whatever the startup is doing. Usually it brings a flavor of sexiness for the startups, and we at Tech Angels like sexy startups, but it's not enough, and it has to be complete. It has to be rounded by everything else, like sales and so on and so forth. And this is where, again, it's important that the investors bring the expertise, bring the the networking and so on and so forth.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing this, Malin. Now, all of you have been part of lightning fast rounds where you've made the investment call in a very short amount of time. So let me ask you, what allowed you to speed up the decision process as opposed to the deals that take months to close?
Let me start now. So
please
continue.
Go ahead.
For business angels, it's somehow one of the advantages that we have. We are basically ready to deploy cash faster than others because it's our cash. So and business angel investment is usually more chaotic, let's say, less procedures than in an institutional vehicle, right? So then for us, it's easier. It depends also on the founder. We still have to do our own due diligence and so on. And it's not like, but if we think something it's worth, and if the need is there, we would be able to deploy money faster than others.
Okay, thank you for your perspective. Now let's hear another one.
I will start. So yeah, it's really important. We've all been part of super rapid investment rounds or ones that take months and you don't see the end of it. It's really important, as Malin said, and yes, business angels really do move very fast. It's really important to be adaptable, to take decisions very, very fast. It's very easy for us also, although we are a fund and not a business angel, being privately owned, funded. But what we do, and I think it's a key, is to deploy resources from really early on in the analysis of the investment, and because this enables you to take the decision very fast. Resources meaning either whatever you need, legal, financial, technical, whatever you need. And also for us, being part of a group, being part of Impeto group, it also has its perks, being able to have resources very fast. But just as a conclusion, you need to be very adaptable and move very fast if you want to speed up the process. But also as Malin said, sometimes you can move as fast as you want and you can as a fund or a business angel, but it also depends on the startup and the founder and some other circumstances that are not in your control.
Thank you. I have a follow-up question. Can you share with us which was the fastest round that you closed? Maybe you can disclose. It was a matter of days, hours, weeks.
the fastest? Let me think. We had a lot of investments. I think the fastest one was actually pretty recent. It's public. This one I remember very fast. It was with Mockup, the investment in Mockup. And part of the fact that we were able to do all the due diligence, legal, technical, financial, very fast, the startup was very well prepared, very well prepared. So that went very fast.
So startups take notes. That's a hint. If you are well prepared, everything goes faster. Also, in the case of Mockup, I think Florin was very well aware of what he needed to prepare for the investors. So thank you very much, Sonia. Let's hear other answers from our panelists. So what matters? Why do you close some rounds very fast, and why do you close some rounds in a very long period of time?
So I'd also build a little bit on the answer already provided by Sonia. So first of all, it's a multiplayer game. It's not a single player game. So although we can take decision very, very fast, let's say maybe in a matter of let's say 1 to 2 weeks, for example, closing a deal, it's a different story because you have more parties there. I mean, you have for example, lawyers, you have like tax advisors, which are doing the due diligence process and so on. So in a way, what I'm trying to say, it is that usually the negotiation or closing the round, it takes much more time than actually deciding that you want to invest in a company, because as we all know, the devil is in the details, and the details somehow it's related to the investment document or to the documents or to the due diligence process. So as it was mentioned earlier, so if the team is well prepared, if they have a data room, they know what a fund is expected in the due diligence and so on, the things will go fast. And then it's also having the right lawyers, which are able to understand and to support the business and not to block, for example, the negotiation. These are somehow the components there. I mean, although you want to close a deal very, very fast, usually it doesn't happen. I mean, closing, it takes a lot of time. I saw actually deals being made much faster in, let's say, different jurisdictions when you have how to say, the documents of the transactions are much more standardized. So people know what to expect in a seed round or in a Series A. And there is no much negotiation. You basically just negotiate some exception, for example, but basically everybody knows what will be there. In our case, because the ecosystem is slightly younger, most of the time you need to explain each and every provision in a contract, why you need to do this in the due diligence process and so on. So honestly, it doesn't happen very often to have a very fast closing. I think the fastest in our case, it was maybe 1.5 months, something like that.
Okay, thank you very much. So note for startups, take care what kind of lawyer you are getting in the team so that you get the deal done and not block it. And also,
be prepared.
Yeah.
I emphasize this with having the good lawyer on the other side.
Yeah. And also, I take note that all of you are still doing education efforts on the market, educating startup founders what they should expect from such a deal, and going through many details that, as you said, Cosmin, on other markets are already clear and you move on faster. So I guess it's what it takes to do here on the market. So let's hear also from you, Jan.
I don't really have anything more to add there. You know, we're co-investing with others. If we're not, we very rarely lead around, and so if we're co-investing, a lot of it depends on who the lead is. What we're seeing is that the larger players, the tier 1 funds that we've co-invested with, everything from Excel, Sequoia, and Raisin in the last few weeks, they're also moving a lot faster, and so it kind of helps put pressure on angels further downstream when the larger funds are moving fast. That being said, you know, I think the fastest I've ever gone from meeting a company to saying, yes, I want to invest is probably about 30 to 45 minutes. And, you know,
wow,
It's about
Okay.
it's about just sending them a convertible note and saying, all right, I'm so convinced. I've been tracking this company kind of from a distance, but you talk to the founder and it's like, this is a sure thing. But again, at the end of the day, I am an early stage investor. Part of my job is, like you said, to educate, but also to be a partner with the team to help them close more rounds in the future. And so, I think building that trust and giving that signal early on makes a huge difference later on as well.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Now let's move on to another topic. Cash, as they say, has never been cheaper. In a short amount of time, we've seen China's economy shake, Russia tightening the screw on Europe, and the Fed printing money at an alarming rate. With inflation being what it is, how does this translate for you, and how does it affect your investment thesis? I mean, I'm looking at valuation caps, ticket sizes, cost of services, and so on. What's your take on this?
So I'll jump in first there. I think, at the end of the day, because we're investing in the early stage and we're motivated by outlier kind of returns, we're not looking for a 3x, 5x, we're looking for the 50x, 100x. And so ultimately, whether it's a 10 million deal now or a 5 million deal now, again, if the outcome is going to be $1 billion valuation or a greater than $1 billion valuation, it makes, it makes no difference. That being said, I think what we as early stage investors need to maintain is that discipline around risk. We're seeing now later stage funds starting to take on more risk. And does that translate into us further downstream as requiring to take on more risk? And I think for us at this point, the simplest way to think about it is, if you're a $2 billion fund and you're writing a 20 million ticket, that's still a very small percentage of your capital under management. But we're a $25 million fund. And so if we're investing 500K, that's a lot of capital. And so we still need to be very careful about how we deploy that, how we deploy that, and then how we think about that risk and allocating that risk across our portfolio. So I think ultimately, like with everyone else on the panel, we're still very much insistent and we care about the fundamentals. Whether the valuation is up by 10 or 20%, I don't think it matters. It's when you get the crazy valuations coming out from YC companies that I'm seeing, pre-product, pre-revenue, raising 1 million at a 20 million valuation. Those are the deals I have to pass on.
Great experience. Thank you very much for sharing. Now let's hear another perspectives from our panelists.
Yes, I agree with Jag. Like discipline in early stage is very important, and follow your investment thesis. If you don't follow it and you don't have the discipline, you take on a lot of risks. Sure, it's very important to be aware of the global context in which we all act. And see if any changes in some aspects globally may influence you, or how, and be aware of them so you can tackle on different risks when investing. But at the moment, just following your investment thesis and be aware of the risks in early stage, it's the valuable thing to do.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Cosmin, Malin, who's jumping in?
Look, behind all these affirmations, I think we didn't see the effects yet. Put it like this. If you think about early stage investment, venture capital, even business angels and so on, I mean, there is a life cycle there. It's also a life cycle of a fund, which usually is like 10 years and so on. And you have to keep in mind that actually the funds which are active are actually, they already have like a couple of years. I mean, it will take time to see this kind of effect. On the other hand, I mean, in the last, let's say, 2 years, we've seen a bump into valuations on the, let's say, local market. And I think this is more a sign of the maturity of the ecosystem on one hand. And then also, well, it's about the impact on the cost of the company, because in the early stage, I mean, the highest part of the costs, it stays in people, which the company are hiring and paying. And if you think about developers, I mean, their salaries are on a ascending trend, and the pandemic didn't affect at all this trend. I think it even accelerated. So this whole story with the global situation, I don't think it's gonna create a short-term impact. Maybe on a long, rather, I don't know, in a 2 to 4 years term, we will see some impact there. But right now, not really.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Cosmin. Malin, what's your perspective on this?
Well, I don't know if it happens because of inflation or because of growing up, but what I can see is there are more and more people interested in becoming angel investors. So our group is growing quite fast, which is I don't know, as I said, if it's the pressure from the exterior or it's just the ecosystem growing. But I see the good part of it. So we are, because of the larger rounds that we can see and the larger valuations, then we are somehow under pressure to syndicate deals, which is actually good because more and more angels tend to get experience on how to do this. And startups usually having more angels around are better helped. So I think it's a good thing for us. Otherwise, from a personal perspective, let's say the cash I have has the same cost, so it's not more expensive or less expensive than it used to be.
Okay, thank you very much, Malin. Great discussion. Thank you very much for being here today with us. Now let's move on to another topic. If we look at 2020 and 2021, they were years which came with their ups and downs. So I'm really curious to hear from you. Can you name an investment that surpassed your expectations in this period in 2020, 2021? Who's going to start? Sonia, please.
Okay. I was about to. Yes, it's true. 2020 and also 2021 has many ups and downs. And in 2020, at least at the beginning of the pandemic, nobody knew. Not that now we know everything. How things are going to be and how it would affect the ecosystem. There were voices at some point, I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, that were saying okay, investors maybe should push the brake and stop a little bit with the investments and just look around and see what's happening. We did it differently. Like in 2020, we pushed the acceleration, let's say so, when went business as usual and full speed ahead with investments. I think the wrong thing would be to stop, and the ecosystem will die eventually if we stop. And yes, and in 2021 we have the same approach, like business as usual, full speed ahead, the investments and follow-ons in our portfolio. And I think this is what any business angel investor or fund should do. Like Malin said, there are more and more people who wish to gather and invest their money. This is a very good thing. You said, in terms of expectations, or a startup that surpassed my expectations, from our portfolio, it's Kinderpedia, the platform for kindergarten schools in education, in EduTech. There were discussions to start the raising of the round in fall, this fall, but we are now looking at the closed round already. It's closed I think, yeah, it's public. We closed it at the beginning of October. And I think this is due to the fact that it had Kinderpedia had and has a very fast scale up in all around the globe, internationally, in Europe, Australia, Oman, even Kenya. The fact that founders are very dedicated, the founders of Kinderpedia are very dedicated to their work, and they also have had early stage investors and also us RockX together with them from the beginning. Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's a great example. I think the press release went public last week. It was a
Yes.
1.8 million euro investment. Thank you very much. Now let's hear another panelist. What can they say about this? Which was the investment that surpassed your expectation in these almost 2 years?
And for me, well, I was lucky actually that I had quite a very good exit last year. It was Greenhorse Games, a gaming company, which really picked up beginning of the pandemic, and then they grew at an amazing speed. And well, I think I couldn't expect better than what they did. So yeah, what to say? Gaming was somehow in a very good position during pandemic. Everybody was playing games, and yeah, it was a good opportunity for them.
Also, great example, Malin. Maybe we should spend some time with you to teach us how to become lucky like you. I think that would make also a good discussion. Thank you very much for sharing. So let's hear another perspective. Which was the biggest surprise in good terms for these almost 2 years in terms of investment made?
Well, in our case, it's obvious. I mean, it was all over the news. It was FinTech OS, the Series B. It was, I think, one of the largest in the region. It happened in the middle of the pandemic, so somehow it proves again the fact that the IT sector actually it's kind of it's almost bulletproof in terms of let's say the normal economy somehow. What is also specific about this company is that it's an enabler for what is called digital transformation, which usually in the economic downturns it's accelerating. So somehow they were positioned very well. It proved the thesis. So well, it wasn't affected almost at all. I mean, of course, at the beginning, like more 1.5 years ago, it was almost a complete stop in making business in general. But this, I mean, took maybe 2-3 months. But then after that, everything went well, especially in this sector.
That's also a great example. FinTech OS, it's a great team, and as you said, they had the product asked right now by the financial institutions that want to move fast in this new context when, for example, customers cannot go to the branches. So being digital,
exactly.
Yes, yeah. And also launching no products, and that's what FinTech OS does, speeding up everything. So yes. Great example, great investment, great startup. Looking forward to see more news about this. Jag, what can you share with us? Which was the investment that surpassed your expectations this year and last year?
The one that keeps coming to my head is one that I can't talk about publicly because they're actually in the middle of a financing round. And
come on, don't do this to us. We are going to haunt you after this to share details.
I'll give you a taste, right? Like we invested in March this year. They raised in a very early pre-seed round, pre-product, pre-revenue, well, pre-everything. It was just two guys whom we had a relationship. I had a relationship with for some time. They raised a seed round 2 months later, and 3 months later, they're going out and they're talking to West Coast VCs to do a 7-8 figure round, and it shows and it's something that I think is relevant for the audience here. It's worth remembering that now more than ever is a great time to also keep selling the vision. And this was a company that they're in the open source software space. It's a tried and tested team, so I'll give that caveat. But as they went out, they kept hearing from investors, is this it? Surely there's more here. Surely there's a bigger play to be had. And just adding that little extra, hey, this is where the market's going to go. This is how we see the market shaping up. But this is our grand vision for how this is going to play out in the next 10 years. That's a story that also attracted a whole new set of investors. And so, I want to emphasize, it's worth remembering that early stage tech investors shouldn't just, or sorry, early stage startups shouldn't just be talking about the business model and what you're doing now. Don't forget to sell the dream. Don't forget to sell the vision, because that's ultimately what gets a lot of the larger players interested. And if you look at the top, 20 players that have been putting money into startups in the last 2 years, only one of them is a real VC, Sequoia, right? The rest of them, Tiger, and many of the other players, they're not really VCs. They're from a different asset class, and as they come on down, they're also buying into the vision. Some people might call it hype. We call it vision. I'm sure there's a difference there that we can cross. But again, ultimately, my point is, for the startups in the room, don't forget to sell the vision, because that's also important, and that's how you actually do attract some larger investors.
Thank you very much for sharing. Now we are going to keep an eye on you to find out what's that startup, what's that investment that did so good. We are waiting to see this. Now let's move on. As we spoke about startups, when doing a deep scan of the local ecosystem, what are the common areas where startups could improve their organization? What are they missing, and what would be a feasible fix? Share with us some advice. Who's going to start?
I will. Okay, what we can see is the most common problem is lack of resources in doing business, actually. So most of the startups coming to us are having a nice product, more or less, final, but usually a nice idea, a nice product. But generally, they don't know how to sell the product. And if they don't know how to sell the product, they don't have a startup. They just have a product. So yeah, I think this is a general problem around. And the way to fix it is, I always advise startups to try to go to the accelerators, to try to get mentors, to try to compensate the lack of resources they have with external resources and so on. So yeah.
Great points. Thank you very much, Malin. Let's hear another perspective on this. It's a question that never gets old. So I'm also curious what the other panelists have to say.
The number one question I'm asking teams whenever I'm interviewing them, digging in, is, how can you do this faster, right? Like, why are you giving me a projection of where you're going to be in Q1 2022? I'm like, no, I want you to build it in the next 6 weeks. What do you need from me to make that happen, right? That's how I usually open up the conversation. And so for me, I think it's just about getting them into the mindset that they need to move a lot faster. As fund managers, we're interested and incentivized to help them raise more money faster. And in order to do that, I'm completely opposed to just raising money for the sake of raising money, just to put that out there, right? And also, I'm opposed to raising money on pure hype. Very few players can do that. In most cases, you always fall flat in your face. So I'm always in favor of having the strong fundamentals, but that doesn't mean that you can't move things faster. And so for me, it's all about moving a lot faster and making sure that you have the resources, like what Malin just said, making sure that you have the resources to support growing faster, but making sure that is something that you really believe in and then can deliver. So that's for me.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. Please, Sonia.
As a lawyer and dealing with many due diligences and the investment process, I can talk about many things that can be fixed, but maybe this is a subject for another panel. In terms of what Jag and Malin said also, and what we've experienced recently in follow-ons or just dealing with the startups having an early stage investment process, is that founders need to focus on investment readiness, meaning that, okay, if you were in early stage and you raised 200, 300K, okay, fine. That was a type of investment process and a type of investor. Then when you go to late seed or Series A and you raise 1.5, 2 million, and the valuations are higher, the expectations are higher, and you need to focus on building a team and having the resources. you need to, as a founder, be aware of the fact that, okay, you have an executive role, and you need to have people around you, key employees, collaborators, who have your back. Like if you jump, they are there with you. Because if you are a one-man show, I'm doing the financial, I'm doing the cash flow, I am negotiating the deal, I am raising, I'm doing everything. That's not what investors expect, and it's not good for your business. That's not the way you should. You can scale, yes, sure you can, but the journey can be a lot more easy if, for the simplest example, like the ESOP, the employee stock option pool, is there for you to implement it. So you have key employees and you build a team. But most of the times, yeah, you just provide it in a shareholders agreement, and there's this guy, the investor, who says, hey, look, we need to do this, it's really important. And yes, they shift in the mindset is necessary, and be aware of the fact that, okay, you are an executive and you need a strong team. This will give confidence to an investor. The investors will want to be very close to you, and it definitely speeds up the round.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Cosmin, what's your view on this?
Well, hard to say. I mean, after all these things, I mean, I'm the last. I think one way is if we are talking about the local ecosystem, I see sometimes too much focus on the local market, which is not appropriate. I mean, especially if you are building let's say a SaaS company. I mean, if you are coming to and pitching to the investors, let's say a global vision and so on. I'm seeing like too many times. Too many things related to the local market. Although we are talking about startups in the local ecosystem, actually the market it's out there, not here, because sometimes you can have a distortion view due to this. I mean, the local market is important maybe just at the beginning, that you can test something and so on. But on a mid term or on a long run, it's completely different. So we are not on an island. I mean, especially in the software business, where if something is good, it will be adopted very, very fast across the world. This thing I would say. Besides, I would stress again what Malin said: focus on the business side. We've seen, I mean, for years. I wouldn't say even product. I mean, great technological demonstrations. Let's put it like this: that you can do, my technology can do this or that, but being able to sell it, it's a different story. So this part. So don't look only to the local market, and actually think in business terms, and just go out there and try to sell it as fast as possible. These two things. I mean, you cannot hide from the customers in your lab or in your garage or whatever. That's the thing which I would advise entrepreneurs to do.
Okay, and now one quick question for the end of our discussion. So let me hear from you. What makes companies stand out from the pack and convince you to either invest or say, pass, I'm not going to do it?
I mean, I'll start. I'll be very quick. A great team.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, I have to say, a good team. The team is really important. I mean, you can have the best idea, the best product, but if there is no, if you don't have the team, yeah.
Okay,
so the team should be the first one.
We keep this in mind. 2 times the team. Let's hear the other 2 panelists.
+1. Yeah, the team is more important. But okay, of course, you look also at the product, possibilities of the time to market fit, and so on. So all these matter. The most important one is still the team.
Okay. Jag, how about you?
Okay, I have the pressure now. I can either disagree or I can just join my fellow investors. I can add on to that maybe. I think team obviously very important. Market is the thing that makes it or breaks it for us. Far too often we meet a lot of great teams that just are operating in markets that either we don't care very much about. For example, I will never invest in AR, VR, esports. Like I cannot get excited about that. So that's an easy no. Or a market that I just fundamentally don't believe is going to grow into a large market. And so it's team plus market.
Yeah.
Okay, but this went too fast, so I'm going to try to get from you. What's the major turnoff for you? And please don't say team. What else? I don't know.
Market.
A bad presentation. Market. Okay, good point. Another answer.
Lack of ambitions. Lack of, they're not really willing to do something meaningful.
Well, that's part of the team, isn't it?
It is.
Come on, let them answer.
That's a good one.
Yeah, okay. So Sonia,
sometimes the cap table. So, to put something different here, if it's too crowded, too many people, not sure, too many friends and family, too overcrowded, sometimes can be a reason.
Okay, Cosmin, we are closing with you, please.
I would stay with what Malin said. I mean, lack of ambition.
Okay, that's a great point, I think. Thank you very much, everyone, for this great chat. I think we could go on for some time, but we also have some startups out there that are ready to pitch. So thank you, everyone again for this great chat.
Thank you also.
Thank you. Bye.
Everyone, bye.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
luck.
Bye.
So thank you again, everyone. We had with us Sonia Fedorovic from RocaX, Jack Sink, a partner at Angel Invest Ventures in Berlin and ex-managing director at Techstars. Also Cosmin Kishore from Gapminder VC, and also Malin Ștefănescu from Tech Angels. Thank you again, everyone. A lot of great insights for the startups out there. So we are now ready to start the pitching session. We have 8 teams, Advancing AI alumni, and 1 bonus team. We like to support our community of alumni, so we encourage them when they want to take their business to their next level. So we are very happy to bring in front of you Voxy Kids batch number 4 alumni and their AI upgraded product. Each founder will have 3 minutes to pitch and 4 minutes to take 2 or 3 questions from our guests. We are on a very tight schedule, so please let's try our best to keep up with the agenda. We are kindly asking our guests to use the raise hand tool for the Q&A section. So now allow me to introduce you to our guests who will challenge the pitchers with some tough questions following their pitches. So we have with us Rodica Lupu from Tech Angels. Hello and thank you for joining us.
Hello, very good to be here. Thank you. Looking forward to the pitches.
Thank you. Also, Nikos Georgiou from Octagon Ventures. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, thanks for the invitation. Good to be here.
Great. Also, we have Dan Oros from Google and YouTube Romania. Hello and welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the invitation.
And also, we are happy to have with us Ionuț Pătrăhău from Seedblink.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you, Ionuț. And also, last but not least, we have Marius Istrate from 3VC Austria and an UiPath alumnus.
Hi, everyone. Looking forward to the pitches. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. And now we are directly starting the pitch session. We have 9 startups to watch. Exigo, Aiva, Billhep, Synaptic, and after that we'll have a short break. Then we are going to have Tally, K-Factory, Array Light AI, Ocean Credit, and Voxy Kids. So right now, let's welcome Ana Maria Melinte from Exigo. Exigo works to replace the traditional way of doing physical rehabilitation with interactive games that motivate and guide patients using AI motion tracking technology. So, Ana Maria, whenever you are ready.
Yes. At this moment, 1 in 3 people necessitates physical rehabilitation. This shows that at some point, you or your loved ones have already experienced or will go through a moment when physical rehabilitation is needed. That's why physical rehabilitation facilities exist. But even if they have all their good intentions, they don't have enough space or physical therapists to help all the patients in need. The acquisition and the management of additional space, along with the difficulty of finding reliable physical therapists, represent their most costly challenges. Hello, we are Exigo, and we help clinics to assist all their patients by bringing telemedicine to physical rehabilitation. That's why our solution is a web application that guides and motivates the patients using computer vision and interactive games. It can be used on any camera-equipped device that everybody already has on their desk or in their pocket. With our solution, clinics expand their physical space without paying additional rent or infrastructure, and more patients can be supervised simultaneously with the same number of physical therapists thanks to the computer vision that assists the sessions. Of course, there are competitors in the field, but what they are overlooking is the issue of proper motivation. That's why we are blending the remote experience with the most addictive concept that humans ever created: games. We are using interactive games in order to motivate the patient's commitment and enjoyment of their rehabilitation process. We are offering our solution to rehabilitation clinics that strive to offer the highest quality when it comes to their healthcare services. Well, Exigo is not just a product, it's the dream and the team behind it. Our work and passion was validated by the Romanian startup ecosystem that honored us with the Startup of the Year award, and by the Swiss ecosystem, which chose Exigo as the best business of Start Fellowship Accelerator. The first prototype was finished at the beginning of the year and is now up and running on our website. Right now, we are working on our product in collaboration with Medicover, and we are continuously validating it and testing it with our medical stakeholders. The next step is defining the business strategy that will lead us to our first clients. In order to achieve this, we are looking for 100,000 euros, but more important than that, we are looking for someone with experience in health tech business that will join the team not only as an investor, but also as an advisor. Only together can we create a road to recovery for patients worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ana Maria. Now let's find out which are the questions from our guests.
Ana Maria, I'll open the question session with an issue that I've seen to many other companies that want to be active in healthcare one way or another. The team was formed out of all kind of tech people, and there was nobody in the domain. How do you see this? Because there is a question of trust, and you can create the best product out of the universe, but if you don't have a professional with you as a shareholder, as a key person in your team, then people are not going to trust what you're doing. How do you comment that?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for talking about the elephant that is in the room. So yes, we are aware that we need somebody that has experience. That's why we are searching for an investor that also has this experience in business and health tech. But at the same time, well, part of the team, we have our medical advisor, which is a physical therapist that works at Medicover. And also our experience contains multiple products of physical rehabilitation. This is not the first product that we are doing in the field. We also created a motorized orthosis and other things for rehabilitation. And we are sure that we'll be able, if we are aware of this, and we will bring the people that can help us, we'll be able to do the product.
Okay, thank you for the answer and for the question. Other questions for Ana Maria?
I'll go next. Ana Maria, thank you for the presentation. Very quick question: why did you restrict your market to recovery therapy? I mean, this, at least in theory, the technology looks just as suitable for fitness tracking.
Yes, you're right. The technology that we are creating suits fitness, also neurological disease, also orthopedics. But this was the field where we had experience, and we said, okay, we are early stage. We have time for everything. Let's go now B2B to reach the rehabilitation facilities in order to have the patients and the physical therapists. And we really think that we can help this domain. Like we really saw a problem. We talked with a lot of physical therapists and managers of clinics, and we saw that this domain, the physical therapy, needs this. The fitness, okay, it's good. They have these solutions, but we want to bring this where we saw the need.
Well, then let me rephrase this. Does your solution, tech-wise, in terms of technical edge, in terms of what you're doing, the fact that you are in this space of recovery, does this bring the space of recovery therapy, does this bring some extra, I don't know, technical edge to what you're doing? Is this a niche where you are, getting some extra results or some results that are different from what you would get in fitness, in the fitness space?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand. Thank you for rephrasing the phrase. The idea is when we are talking about competitors and the sports, solutions are there, they are using this computer vision technology. But when it comes to physical rehabilitation, they're already using games and are trying to correct the exercises, but they are using sensors and Kinect cameras, additional infrastructure. What we are doing is to bring the technology, because now is the moment to use this technology that evolved a lot, and use this technology in physical rehabilitation, the AI, in order to enable patients to not be stick to those solutions that need additional infrastructure.
Okay, so if we have one more question, now it's the time to ask it. Okay, if we have no more questions, I'll ask a short questions. You said you are looking for an investor, specific type of investor. Have you started already prospecting the market? Did you have any meetings talking with investor about this?
Yes, we had some meetings. We talked both with VCs that invest in early stage startups, and also we are searching and stalking all the angel investors that are on LinkedIn and finding those that are investing in health tech, because I think this is a challenge to find those who are, going to invest in healthcare.
Okay, thank you very much, Ana Maria, and best of luck. We hope this event also is going to help you to find your investor.
Thank you too.
Okay, so now let's move on from medtech to how AI can be used in retail. So now a warm welcome to our next speaker, Sergiu Dahon from Aiva Vision. Hello and welcome. Sergiu, we are eager to hear from you how you are using deep tech to unlock data from CCTV infrastructure.
Hi, it's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting us and having us. So I'll breeze through it. Our vision is to leverage AI on CCTV infrastructure to extract relevant information. Out of the many use cases, we're currently addressing the retail and commercial markets. Why have we chosen retail? Because the sector faces revenue losses on 3 fronts: shrinkage or theft in popular terms, long queue lines, items out of stock, and also retailers don't have any sort of information on their customers' demographics or their behaviors in their store. We're tackling these issues by offering this bundled service: shrinkage detection at manned or unmanned checkout counters, queue length management, as well as out-of-stock SKU detection. Additionally, we can help our clients better understand their customers. Aiva's unique architecture allows us to offer clients flexibility in their use cases and to use their existing infrastructure. Why are we unique? Because we deploy our AI on the edge, which makes it cheaper and faster. We can do over-the-air upgrades and remote monitoring as well as maintenance, and we can use their existing infrastructure, thus lowering their capital expenditure. The market that we are addressing is sizable in Europe, but as well as in Romania. The revenue model has 2 components: a one-time setup cost and a subscription model. We are currently in talks with clients in Romania as well as Spain. We have technical partnerships with NVIDIA and Microsoft, being part of their startup programs, and commercial ones with SBTech in Latin America as well as Spain, and ActiveWatch in North America. Our journey has been very fruitful thus far, both on a technical and commercial side, and it's only the beginning. Why you should invest in Aaaand? Because we are addressing a scalable market, yet untapped as well. We have very, very few competitors, while on the other side, we struggle by having to educate our clients. We have a very long sales cycle. We are still pre-revenue, and access to talent is very scarce. For the current round, I have to make a disclosure. We have recently closed the financing round, being oversubscribed by 160%, but we'd be glad to stay in touch for a future one. We are Aaaand, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your pitch. Now let's hear what our guests are having to ask you. Let's hear some questions.
Hi, Sergio. Thanks for the presentation.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, and I was really excited about your demo. My question is, you have several use cases for retail. Which of those is the most interesting for the customers with whom you've discussed so far, and for the pilot?
Out of the gates, everyone will stick to shrinkage detection. So that is the main objective of everyone we've spoken to in the market. They focus on shrinkage, and the rest are pretty much nice to have. That's the way to
okay.
Work.
And if you've done a pilot so far, like how much were you able to like reduce, let's say, the theft or?
We are still in discussions with Profi. We're still in discussions on this side, but as soon as we'll have some data, I will more than glad to well, depending on the NDA, I'd be more than glad to show the figures, because it's something that would help us extremely in our sales cycle. It's different when you go to a company and you speak about, okay, this is the solution, this is what they can do, and then you show them the figures and it changes everything. So yes.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dan, thank you very much for the question. Also, thank you, Sergio, for your answer. Let's hear another questions from our guests.
I would have one. Sergio, how are you planning to monetize your current customers? Because in my understanding, you have some pilots, but are they willing to pay for this particular service that you're offering?
Yeah, I know the age-old proverb, the road to bankruptcy is paved with free demos. So yes, in some cases, they are willing to pay, but I see a mixed bag as a response from the market. So some are willing to pay, some will try and push the narrative towards give us a free demo, and then if we like it, we'll adopt it, implement it, and pay. But as much as possible, and you know, we're trying to monetize as much as possible any sort of pilot. Even if I know you still have the tendency of opening your hand and offering a freebie just to get your foot closer in the door. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear another questions if there are for Sergio.
Yes, I understand that you're still working on this, but if I understood correctly, you have already closed the round and
Yes.
you've got an investment. Can you tell us anything about the figures? How much you got, how much you expect to get in the next round, and for what? For what?
Pushkar, if you would be willing to answer this,
This is more your kitchen.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thanks for that. Thanks for the question, Radhika. Unfortunately, right now we are not in a position to reveal the actual figures. While we do have money in the bank now to see us through to for at least the next 12 months. That's the runway that we've got. Obviously, given how traction develops and how our burn rate increases in response to that traction, we may need to bring in our next round sooner than 12 months. But right now, the priority for us is now to sort of focus on going back to our clients and create a more compelling story in terms of revenue growth.
Okay, thank you for your answers and also for the question. Are there any more questions?
Can I add to this one more detail?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pushkar, when do you expect to start monetizing? Do you have any projection on that?
Q4 this year, we've got set up almost ready to deploy with actually one of the malls here in Romania. They actually own 4 different malls, and we're doing a pilot for them in one of the malls in the southern part of the country. So the monetization, like you said, is starting with the POC itself.
Okay, thank you very much for your questions. Thank you very much for your answers and for your pitch. Our next pitcher comes directly from the Republic of Moldova with a solution aiming to help accountants in their day-to-day work. Ion Moșoi is here to tell us how BillHelp helps accounting companies to process invoices 6 times faster and 3 times cheaper using an AI-based web platform. So, we are here ready for you. Whenever you are ready, please start.
Hello, my name is Ion. I represent BillHelp, invoice processing solution for small businesses. At the moment, the invoice processing solutions are not available for small businesses. Current solutions are focusing on enterprise and big companies. As a result, 2,000 plus hours are wasted on manual invoice processing, what is a repetitive and boring job. Our solution is an invoice processing platform that is simple to integrate. After the scanned invoice are uploaded in our system, our model extracts data, accountant verifies the data, and in order to connect with the accounting system, we have an RPA bot that can be set up by a non-technical person. So our solution is up to 10 times faster and 90% cheaper. And what is important is fast and easy to integrate by a non-technical person. Our target market are small companies that have from 100 to 1,000 monthly invoices. And we have a subscription model based on the number of invoices from 50 euros to 200 euros. And our available market is 2 million businesses, companies that uses 1C accounting systems in 25 countries. Mostly of them are in CIS countries. And in Moldova, we have 67 companies, and we can make work of them. So our competitions are working with big companies, and manual processing is the most popular. And we'll change that, having a fast onboarding. In 1 hour, we can show the value of our platform. Our traction so far, we have 7,000 documents processed per month, 9 paying customers. We have integrated with a couple of accounting systems. We're raising money in order to accelerate our growth. Mostly will be spent on marketing and product development. Our team have experience in building and selling AI products and doing research in AI domain. Next for us is to make the onboarding as fast as possible and have no-touch sales. And next year, we'll expand in other countries that uses 1C accounting systems and create new products for accountants in order to make their job easier. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much. So let's hear if there are any questions for Ion Moșnoi from Bilhep. Sorry for reading your name with an error at the start of a pitch. So let's hear questions.
Yeah, I would have one. What is your traction regarding revenue? You said you have some kind of subscription model. I'm assuming you have a monthly recurring revenue or something like that.
Yes, at the moment we have 9 customers and they are paying, so we have 500 euros at the moment. And we at the moment we're trying to make the pay bot as fast as possible to integrate. So we're working on it.
Okay, and these customers are paying based on how much invoice the AI processes for them, right?
Yeah, so our subscription model is based on the number of invoices. So for 100 euros a month, they process 500 invoices a month.
Okay, thanks.
I will continue with a question, Ion. From my point of view, your solution looks like a feature for an digital accounting company, more than an independent solution. You said you are addressing the SME market, which are having the accountancy done inside the company, but most of the SMEs are having contracts with accounting companies. How do you see this? And have you thought of having alliances with accounting companies?
Yeah, so we're working with accounting companies that process this type of invoices, and we are thinking to have partnership with IT companies that are doing accounting systems. So in order to use our systems for their clients, but in order to get to that stage, we need to have more traction and get more data in order to train our model.
Okay, but you are going to have traction when you are going to have enough customers and enough invoices processed.
Yes.
And in order to have this, you have to have a good use case that fits the market.
Yes.
So you will probably reach the best solution.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I think it's great that you already have customers, and this is a very good sign that the product goes well. Just one question. You made your case by comparing the average ordinary time to process invoices versus the time that you secure through your app, through your software. So my question is, how did you estimate it? How did you estimate the time needed to manually process the invoices? I'm asking this because I'm a bit familiar with the field, and it seems a little bit, to me at least, it seems a bit overestimated.
Okay, so we actually have paying customers, and so they told us how much time they spend on processing invoices. So for example, I invoice with 20 products. For an accountant, it takes up to 30 minutes to process. So you need to add a new field if it doesn't exist in the database, and you need to add all the prices, and then you need to verify if it's correct or not. So it can take up to 20 minutes to 30 minutes for an invoice. And we also have some cases with invoices with 180 products and lines. So it takes a couple of hours to process. And we are doing it in a couple of seconds.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ion. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. Now, we all know that AI has a lot of applications in the medtech sector, so let's welcome another startup willing to make healthcare a little bit smarter. Dragoș Dușe will tell us how Synaptic helps doctors treating cancer patients more efficiently and accurately. So let's hear you, Dragoș, whenever you are ready.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dragos, and I'm glad to be here. I represent Synaptic, and we provide state-of-the-art solution for medical image analysis in radiotherapy. So, as you know, radiotherapy is one of the main ways to treat cancer. And we identified a few problems with this procedure. First of all, there is a shortage of well-trained medical staff. For example, in Romania, only 1 out of 3 patients gets access to treatment. More than this, tumor and organs at risk identification is tedious, subjective, and prone to errors. And thirdly, contouring is a very time-consuming task. It takes up to 4 hours for each patient. What is the solution for all this? Medic, our software, will provide target volume delineation by leveraging machine learning capabilities so that the contouring part of radiotherapy can be done in a fraction of a time with higher accuracy and objectivity. How do we plan to deliver our product? We will offer our clients, the radiotherapy clinics, on-premises software, but if they choose, they can also opt for a cloud-based annual subscription or pay-per-use. We have many achievements that we are proud of. First of all, we extended our team to 10 members. We secured our first round of investment, and we signed our first contract with the client. We also did some market analysis, and we plan to start in Romania and then extend at the European level where we see the same problem. For example, at the European level, only 3 out of 4 patients get access to radiotherapy. So this problem persists. Of course, we have competition, but we have some few unfair advantages. For example, adaptive learning, which is a unique feature that allows doctors to teach the AI their custom way of contouring. We have high accuracy due to our custom architecture and attractive price. What is our vision? We want to empower radiation oncologists to save more lives. But who are we? We are a team of well-balanced experts with experience in fields like AI, medicine, and business. But we are not alone in this journey. We have our partners which offer us feedback and advice along our way. What is our funding status? As I said, we secured our first round of investment, and we are looking for a seed investment of 400,000 euros for accreditation, which is the main step in order to generate revenue, research and development, and also marketing. We have a clear plan for the future. We want to finish our beta version of the product by the beginning of 2022. We want to finish European level accreditation by the mid of 2022, and then add more features and many more things yet to come. Thank you for your attention.
Also, thank you very much, Dragos. So the future seems bright for medicine, isn't it? So I'm asking now the guests, what do you think about this project? What questions do you have for Dragos?
Please.
Dragos.
Okay.
It's Dragos. It's hard to deep dive into the product because it's very difficult for me. I'm not I'm not educated in this field, so I have no idea if the product does what it says it does. But if it does, then congratulations for working on it. I wonder.
I can show you. Sorry for interrupting. I show you a quick demo if you want.
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
I wouldn't know if it's accurate. But let me ask you 2 things. One is what are you thinking when you say research and development? So what exactly are you looking forward to? Because you said you're going to use your next round for research and development. So I'm curious about what else you need to discover in this process. And secondly, is anybody right now working with you, any clinic or any doctors working with you and putting it into practice somehow, or is it used at least at some length at this moment?
Okay, so the research and development part comes in because of the huge gap between research and industry. So for example, in research, we talk about fancy things, but we only touch the subject. Like we never really fine-tune them until they reach practical use. And in industry, often we have fine-tuned products which work really well, but there's not enough innovation that is brought. So we plan to to fill this gap between research and industry. That's our plan. And that's why we have to do a lot of research and also the developments. So we take the idea from the research and the dream to reality. So that's actually the main work of this project. And regarding of the fact that if we work with some clinician, first we have an advisor, which is a radiation oncologist at the hospital in Germany, and she offers us a lot of feedback and advice and checks up the results of the software. And also we plan a feedback session with our first client, which will also help us develop our product and integrate more features.
So
I hope, yeah.
Basically what you're working with right now, so what's your model based on if you still have to work on getting the research into the practice? I thought you'd have already done that.
Yes, we already done this to some extent, but if you think about it, each cancer type, it's a different task. So first you do it on a small set and then you extend this set. So we have a really great result on a small set, but then we have to extend them. And even if we use kind of the same algorithms, they still need to be fine-tuned and checked and so on. So this is the stage we're in right now.
I got it. Thank you.
Thanks for your questions.
Ionuț, you had a question?
Yeah, Dragos, if I'm not wrong, your business is based on big data analysis. This means that the more data you have, the better is the product, and the better the product can predict what's happening with a person or another. So I think that there are just a couple of centers around the world which are doing this. I mean, not every clinic is doing research, not every clinic is doing statistics. It's only few of them who are doing it in a right way. And then all the others, they base their analysis and they base their medical decisions on the results of the statisticians. So this is a bit my worry that your program is going to be well received by a couple of centers, but it's going to be difficult for you to implement it all over the place. What's your take on this?
I agree with you. I think there is a lot of skepticism on the market now, but we need to start early and someone has to do it. Someone has to convince them that this is a useful product. And I think with time, if they will see the usefulness of the product, they will see the fact that it reduces the time so much. And even if it doesn't automatically controlling, the doctor still has the chance to review the result of the software. So it's safe. It's kind of like a second opinion. So in the end, it's not that much to worry about. So I think doctors will slowly realize that this is a useful solution. And by the time we extend to the global market, the healthcare industry will be more open to this kind of solutions.
Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Dragos, and thank you everyone for the questions. Now we are going to take a short break of 5 minutes, or let's call it buffer time. We'll be back soon. Stay with us, please. Stay with us, please. So welcome back. I hope that you have recharged your batteries for our last round of startups. Marius Rus is breaking the ice with Tali, a wearable device for emotion recognition and management that helps children affected by ADHD cope with the daily stress of controlling their behavior. Marius, you have the mic.
Hi, I'm Marius, and I'm going to present you our solution for emotion management. Stress is something that affects every one of us, and sometimes it seems that it gets harder and harder to cope with the challenges of every day. But imagine how hard it is for people affected by sensory integration disorder like ADHD, and especially for children. Every day they go through multiple emotional crises triggered by intellectual challenges and mental stress, and these have a huge impact on their lives. Of course, there are solutions. Therapy is what really works, but it can take years for children to learn how to control themselves without the help of an external input. Now, this prompt is offered by specialized counselor in school interventions, but they are too few and too expensive to be a real solution. Tuli changes all of this, offering a personal therapeutic assistant to all children need one. It's a wearable device that tracks a series of physiological indicators and forecast incoming emotional events, high-intensity emotional events. It works as a early warning and guidance system, leading the children back to a calm state. So leading the children back to a calm state through exercises learned from their therapist. All the data about stress and behavior is collected and is processed, and it helps the psychologist evaluate objectively and improve the therapeutic process. Unfortunately, the market is really large. There are over 8 million children diagnosed with ADHD in the US and Europe, and the 500,000 of them, which we can reach easily, which are under therapy in the larger cities, form a market of over 140 million euro. We are offering them a package composed of the product and a monthly subscription for full access to data. Initially, it's going to be in a B2C model, selling the device directly to parents of hyperkinetic children starting next year. We'll move to a B2B model through hospitals and pediatric clinics once we have a medical device certification. Our team has extensive experience in psychology, in hardware developing, in prototyping, including in wearables and embedded software and sales. And we have been working on this project for the past 4 years. We developed several iterations of the prototype, validated our technology through a EU-funded project together with the Faculty of Psychology, and raised the first round of funding last year. This year, we worked on developing the commercial version of the device, and we prepared the launch through a crowdfunding campaign in the next months. Next, we'll focus on full commercial launch manufacturing preparation, and starting clinical trials for medical device certification, for which we are talking with University of Barcelona and Hospital Sant Joan de Déu. And for this, we will be raising a 500,000 euro seed round. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the pitch. Now let's hear the questions from our guests.
Thanks a lot, Marius. The product looks very interesting. I wanted to ask you, how does it really work? Like, what do you mean by the calming sessions? So I understand that the bracelet detects when the kid, I know there's some like metrics that go up, like the heart rate or these sort of things. And what happens afterwards?
So the child knows what to do to calm themselves. It's extremely easy. There are very easy exercises of respiration or of, I don't know, you cannot even call it meditation. And the problem for them is knowing when to start with them.
Okay, makes sense.
So it just triggers them and then it guides them because it continues to monitor them during these exercises. So it kind of gives them a visual and a tactile through vibration confirmation that they are on the right track, that their I don't know, agitation or stress level is actually going down.
Okay, understood. And have you done any pilots with children so far? And like
Yes.
How many and what was the feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started, now we are in the at the end of the third round of testing. The first one was just for data accumulation, so to be able to develop the algorithm. The second one was during 2020. We used a sample of 15 children. It was that project with EU funding that basically validated, so the entire statistical approach validated the fact that the results, what we are tracking, is actually corresponds to what's happening in reality, and that they are also going having a calming effect. And now we are finishing as I said, the third testing set, in which the main aims were to improve the algorithm by adding machine learning capabilities and to fully validate the effects of the calming effects in day-to-day life, in online or physical school. It's pretty much half and half. And now we are tracking. We still have 12 children that are undergoing this project. They are completely different from the ones that in the previous round and the other one. So in total, we tested it on about between 30 and 40 children. I have to check exactly how many were in each session.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for your answers and also great questions, Dan. Please go ahead.
Just one question and a suggestion, if I may. Is this a spin-off from the university? And if so,
it's not a spin-off.
It's not.
No, it's not a spin-off. We just worked with the Faculty of Psychology in order to make sure that we have diagnosed children, that we are tracking, and we are using the same the correct testing packages in order to make sure that we are doing the right thing.
So in terms of IP, in terms of intellectual property, the device as well as the whole model behind it is entirely yours, right?
Yes. Yes.
Have you dealt with it? Have you registered in any way?
We have already submitted provisional patent applications, and we have another several months to complete the final applications.
Well, the suggestion, thank you for answering. I think your project is great, and I think it's very suitable for financing from the EIC, from the European Innovation Council. I think it's perfect for what they're aiming to finance. So perhaps, in parallel with raising private money, you might look into what the EIC has to offer, because they also offer a combination of grant and equity types of programs. So it does do you good to continue in a nice pace, so not to rush, because you need a little bit of time to get a lot of data in order to get your product good enough. So yeah, this is my suggestion, to look into that, because your project is very well does fit very well their requirements.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Marius,
Also,
another
please.
Marius here. One more
Please go
question
ahead.
for you. Your focus on kids diagnosed with ADHD is absolutely admirable. But I'm wondering, just out loud, psychologists and school therapists are telling us right now that there is a mental health epidemic for kids in schools worldwide because of what has happened. In the past year and a half. So I'm just wondering out loud if there isn't a broader usage for this, or if you've thought of this, or you want to stay focused on the ADHD concern, which is a valid one, I admit.
No, absolutely. So we actually started from ADHD because that's where the idea came from. So one of our co-founders actually worked with children with ADHD as a counselor. But the application range is quite wide, and actually we are now I wouldn't call it even testing, because we are just working with two parents that we kind of got into contact with them through this testing, but the mothers are affected by panic attacks, and we try to tweak the algorithm to see how it applies to panic attacks for adults. So absolutely, it's a huge range, and it can cover everything from anxiety to depression. But we decided to stay focused initially on ADHD because it's a huge problem for these children, and it's very important for the parents. So we have all the elements to make sure that we have a fast access to them, and we collect the data, because this is why also we introduced these machine learning capabilities. Our algorithm is only as good as the data that stands behind it. So
yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the pitch, the question and answers session. We have to move on to keep up with the agenda. So we are going to change a little bit the industry, and we are welcoming Adrian Dima, who is ready to disrupt manufacturing with K Factory. Adrian, we are eager to listen to how are you planning to transform factories into smart factories. So you have the mic.
Hey guys, I'm glad that you can hear me. I don't know if you can see me. I'm sure you cannot see me. Okay, start my video. Hello, hey all, glad to see you again, some of you. So let me share my screen. Sure. Okay, so we are Key Factory. We are an Industry 4.0 startup. That means that our focus are mainly manufacturing companies. Now 100% manufacturing companies. Soon we are going to touch in other industries. Key Factory, it's a digital automation platform which helps manufacturing companies to optimize their operational processes. By operational processes, I mean maintenance, production, quality, and supply chain. And recently we have started also to be active into the green initiatives, and we're able to monitor carbon emissions into factories. Basically, we're Key Factory, it's a platform which holds 4 products, but today pitch it's only about one product of ours, which we believe it's a game changer in industry. It's called our the team of virtual engineers, which are starting as a main problem, which are covering a main problem in manufacturing industry. The skilled workers shortage, which is, for example, in US, it's a $1 trillion problem in the next 10 years. How we are doing this? By collecting data from all IT systems and also from IoT sources, we are able to engage real engineers and deliver knowledge about real-time processes in factory and help them, just like a real engineer, to understand what is happening, to follow up activities, and to get in touch with their factory. Basically, we are standing on the market estimated by us on an annual recurring revenue of 46 billion euro only in Europe. As a competition, it's interesting. We have found only one competitor in the United States, which it's called Parsable, which already raised $133 million. We hope to follow soon after them. Our model is software as a service with a quick deployment. The vision is to access a new round of financing and to expand to other areas. First is the next year, DACH area, where already we are having a new colleague, and the third round to go directly to United States. We are Adrian and Vlad, which holds around 20 years experience in manufacturing and IT. And I think this is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Now let's hear from our guests. What kind of questions do they have for you?
I think I can go first this time. I just wonder, how long does it take? And I suppose you have to connect and to collect a lot of data and to integrate your software with companies, with any manufacturer's systems. So I wonder, how long do you estimate the implementation takes for any particular client?
You know, Rodica, after being almost 20 years in very complicated projects, we've had enough of complicated things, and we are trying to do things easy and scalable and replicable. That means that in average, we are able to implement, to deploy our platform between 2 weeks and 2 months, depending also of the availability of the customers. So this is one of our strong points. We are able to came up with best practices from this industry and to deliver the horizontal processes which are available in most factories.
Have you, maybe I have missed it. Have you implemented it already with a client, or have you have going on? In what industry, if I may?
For example, we are starting now a new project into paint industry. A company which is a multinational company which is producing paint. You know?
Okay. Construction materials, basically.
Construction materials, yeah, you can say like this. And also we are having pilots in automotive. We are delivering right now into aluminum molding, into beverages. So basically, we are not stuck into an industry. If I can say, it's discrete manufacturing mainly, you know, and bottling. We are not more into process manufacturing, but in discrete manufacturing, we are able to deliver in any subsector.
What size of company do you think is the best perfect profile, client profile for you?
For our offering, the whole platform, it's able to be delivered to any size of company. We have small customers and also big multinational companies. But our team of virtual engineers, in reality, even marketing, we say that it goes for all. No, probably the best customers are starting from medium to large ones, you know, because they are having a lot of IoT sources, which are very diverse, you know, a lot of IoT sources, you know, and a lot of data together, you know. In a small company, it's easy. The general manager is going in the shop floor and looking around and what are you doing here, you know? It's simple. But in medium or big companies, it's a little bit more complicated. So this is our target with our virtual engineers. Medium and large companies.
Okay, are there any more questions? Thank you, Rodica. Are there any more questions for Adrian? Okay, if we don't have another questions, thank you very much, Adrian. And we are moving on. Our next participant is coming from Turkey, and he is here to show us how AI is helping the energy tech sector. Haluk Ilmaz will share with us how array light transforms cities in autonomous cities with the help of smart lighting technologies. So Haluk, thank you for joining us. You have the mic now.
And thank you and taking your time with me. And I hope we will get a great conversation today. In just a second, I'm now sharing my screen with your acceptance. Okay, I'm ready. Mr. Adrian, can I start?
It's okay. Yes, you have the mic. You can start whenever you want.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Street lighting costs are a big problem for every government in the world. Have you ever about how many there are on the globe and how much costs for them? Hi, my name is Mustafa Yılmaz and I'm the founder of Aaaand AI. We help cities reduce their power consumption by intelligently turning off street lights when no one around to use them. I will give you an example from the one of countries we have invested in. According to their electric department, Bahrain alone has 150,000 lights. The problem is, as everywhere, they are working full power all night long, even if not needed. And it costs them around $20 million in electricity costs every year. And this is only an island country. This is our smart solution. Aaaand provides proactive lighting needs by vehicles and pedestrians. We make teach street lights how to use their powers. They will intelligently turn it on when light is required. Lights are turned off automatically when no one around to use them to save these energy costs and extend the life of equipment. In this way, energy is consumed only as needed. Aaaand detects motion and determines the optimal lighting for maximum efficiency. I want to show you real-world interaction of AI with my car. While saving energy and reducing costs, Aaaand will provide lighting when I need it. What if I told you with Aaaand, we slash all these costs by 60%? That means $12 million saving and annually, and this is only an island country. Our solution takes only 5 seconds to transform lights into a smart light. It can now automatically determine when light is needed. Our business model is quite simple. First year hardware fee and annually subscription for AI services. Our target market is growing rapidly and not yet dominated. Our first move starts from the Turkey, size of more than $300 million potential. Reachable markets are Europe and America, nearly 4 billion, and total market is more than $7 billion. We have really get a great traction. We have already launched in last quarter, and got more than $100,000 grants. And everything are developed in-house, and that makes us a great profit rate. We look forward to sharing with you these big projects that excited us. For example, in Bahrain, we just aggregated more than $2 million pilot test stage only for 10,000 units. As I say, there are more than 300 million units around the globe. As I say, we have launched last year, last quarter, a great pilots. We made it great efficiency, and our project just proved this performance. Cross-mesh technology and many technologies we have developed. One investment, one technology, and one feature without requiring more investments. That means more than 60% efficiency. Our competitors also no motion, no analyze, or no fault reporting, also no AI. And that means our return of investment under 2 years and our competitors more than 6 years. We have really a great family about to make autonomous cities futures, and everything is working and running under the control. We have highly skilled team members who have been working for 3 years. Kadir, hardware design, Merve, wireless communication, Servet is PR. Also, I work for the business and technical development. We are really excited to be part of this smart transformation. We will happy to see you on your journey. I want to thank you.
Thank you very much, Haluk. I think it's a very interesting project, especially at this moment when we see energy prices rising and everyone is looking at their bills. I think also municipalities are doing that. So thank you again for the presentation. Now let's see what kind of questions will you get from our guests.
Please.
I have a first one, and if you'll allow me. Hi, Haluk. Thank you for the presentation. Marius here. I have a concept question that I have to ask about this. City planners and law enforcement locally have concluded that having lights on in neighborhoods is actually a crime detractor, right?
Exactly.
So why would we turn them off? I mean, there are lots of neighborhoods in a lot of major cities where the crime problem has barely been solved. I mean, it's not even solved, it's just reduced recently, right? So why would we turn off the lights?
Exactly. This is the main objective. We are actually not controlling the street lights. We just make them teach how to use their potential by themselves. Self-learning method. Let me show you with a real-time video. Just a second. Dear Marius, we are not closing. You may see the signs. They are already running out of the visible stage. We just make them dim, not closing. For example, they are still working, but while car is reaching, they are turning bright on, like shine on the street lights. Mr. Marius, I have to say, we make them teach. Or another opinion is, for example, we collect the crime as anomaly detection. They have got already sound sensors. Just imagine you are walking in the street night, like 2 a.m. If there is an anomaly detection, like somebody's scream or a gunshot, they will be say, hey, there is a trouble, just need SOS. We have got already working with the autonomous drones technology in AI section. And without operator requires, they will reach them and photograph area. And our plan is in 10 years, we are totally stopping the patrol of police services. All things control under custody with AI and array lights. Array light is only the backbone of future smart cities. But I have to say, we are not closing, we are just make them dim. While making this dim, saving energy, as soon as possible, return of investments, and same time, secure city, efficiency, and save local resources.
Okay, thank you for the answer and for the question. Are you okay with the answer? Do you have any follow-up question?
I'm not really okay, to be honest, but I don't know what I would ask as a follow-up. I mean, you're telling me, you're going to alert law enforcement and whatnot if something happens and turn on all the lights, but by the time you're doing that, it has already happened. So I don't see how I would feel safer with me walking on the street, lights being dimmed ahead and behind me and not having any capability to see. Furthermore, you're turning on the light above me, which is blinding me if it's nighttime. So I don't see it working. I understand your answer, but I just don't see it. Don't see it working. But thank you. Yeah.
Let me try to explain. The first stage, Mr. Marius, the pedestrian or cyclist or even driver will. Let me show you with the laser pen. Just a second. For example, we have just tested. I can also show you our pilot videos with you. The drivers can't see this place. They will see only a light. It's not bright, dim or not. They will not know till reach here. What we are doing is, while you need the lights zone, Mr. Marius, you will have the lights. We are not closing the streets lights. For example, we have.
Haluk, can you explain? For example, you said you are going to dim the lights. Maybe it's going to be 50% power, 40% power. Maybe it's going to be clear.
Exactly. For example, while the cars came, they are really goes to 10%, 20% for saving energy. Like you can imagine, like the bottle of the water. We are just trying to make it stop, but still it will be around 10% or 20%. While car arrives, we will make it bright to the 100% or 90% for the security of the people and pedestrian and drivers. But we are using different time and power for drivers and pedestrians. For example, fast cars takes only 15 seconds of the light time. But if there will be a pedestrian, it will goes about the 90 seconds or 100 seconds for while pedestrian leaves the zone. We are just collecting, actually. The lights will be no, hey, there is a car. I don't need so much light because it says already headlights. Or pedestrian is need light because it's slow and not have lights. Actually, we are creating an ecosystem and analyze of the real-time city. I hope this answer helps.
Okay, thank you very much, Haluk. I'm wondering if there are any more quick questions and that can get a quick answer so that we stay within the time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy about this. Please.
So let's hear, please. Short question, please.
Just in case you got discouraged, I would like to say that I actually like your concept and I think it's very ambitious and I like your enthusiasm. I think you're gonna make it. Just one question. How do you prepare yourself for the difficulties in dealing with public authorities? Because that is not an easy customer to gain. So based on your experience and what your research you may have done, what's your view on this?
Actually, as I will try as soon as possible and quick answer. The first thing is we made it as soon as possible easy because a Turkish startup, we need to make it run in Canada, Romania, or Azerbaijan. It is so simple, easy, just plug and play. This is the first stage. The second stage is country's regulations. So we are totally respect that. We are not collecting your data. We are totally open. The server, database, everything is on your side, and you will be say us about we are using this frequency. We are these requirements, and you have to do this. We are totally open it. For example, we have just won a project in Canada, Sidewalk Labs behind in the Google. They just lost because we are respect the privacy. The last stage is about the future requirements and investments. We are totally open list. For example, one investment, but tomorrow countries or municipalities will need different requirements. We are just collect and we will build together. You will behave data, you will behave sensors, and you will behave the ecosystem. We are totally your maintenance team, you can see. Also, the last thing I want to add you, thank you so much. If there is a problem, if there is a light not works, if there is a trouble, the lights will tell, hey, I'm not working. This is my GPS location. This is my hardware. You are only need to do this. Then maintenance team only use the QR code, plug off, plug ready. Voila, that's all.
Okay. Thank you very much for the energy shot, Haluk, and we wish you best of luck.
Thank you so much.
So going further, I'd like to make a shift in industries and go directly to fintech because I'm pretty sure that AI can help here a lot. So let's give a warm welcome to Răzvan Enache, who is representing Aaaand Credit, a startup that proposes lending with a difference. So Răzvan, thank you for joining us. You have the mic.
Thank you, Adrian. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, hi guys, I'm Răzvan. I'm the growth manager of Aaaand Credit, and today I will present you our business proposition and our latest product, Dolphin, a revolving credit line. By definition, we provide short-term lending to retail customers, but we do this through an end-to-end digital lending process, and we own a proprietary technology from KYC to AI-driven risk engine. What problems do we solve with this credit line? The subprime and near-prime customers have restricted access to bank loans, so they have to rely on payday loans from other NBFIs and pay interest as high as 1.2% per day. Therefore, most of them are trapped in short-term debt cycle and don't have a chance to balance out their debt or get a fair interest rate. This is what our product is solving. It can be deployed, the credit line can be deployed on every debit card you have in your pocket. Once we validate clients' income, they can get the funds they need in minutes, 100% online on the debit cards they already have. We have a straightforward value proposition. You can transform your debit card into a credit card. So for 1 year, you won't need another short-term loan. We do this by offering a seamless experience in managing the credit line. Very simple. You can just, after enrolling your card, your debit card, you can click for withdrawing the money. You will do the same to repay your debt, you just add a card and a simple e-commerce transaction, the funds will be transferred in seconds or minutes. About the market, 12% of the consumer loans are provided by companies like us, NBFIs, non-bank financial institutions. But after launching Dolphin, that can replace credit cards or other overdraft facilities, our target market has expanded 5 times. And once we calibrate our risk-adjusted pricing algorithm, we will tap into the prime market and we will vote banks for their clients. Some business highlights: we provided 30 million loans in the last 12 months. We have 6K unique customers, 85% are returning, and a compound annual growth rate of 150%. About the roadmap, we just launched a web-based Dolphin in Ocean Credit on October 1st. Till the end of the year, we will deploy the credit line in our Vault Super app. So in a wallet. In the first quarter of next year, we will integrate the credit line in other digital wallets in different Romanian fintechs. And till Q2 2022, we will expand our operation in Poland, and Dolphin will be our flagship. About our vision, we believe that everyone should pay for a loan according to their risk profile and financial discipline. So we help clients avoid short-term debt traps, have a permanent credit facility in their digital wallets, have a seamless experience in managing their debt. What do we want? On short term, we look for strategic partners to finance our growth through debt. Medium term, after deploying Dolphin in a Vault, in a digital wallet, we consider raising 2.5 million euros to finance our expansion in Poland and maybe other countries in the region. And long term, of course, advice and access to investors network will be good. This is our team. Radu is our founder that has a lot of previous experience in entrepreneurship. And also Dan, Bayar, Ivan, Ruslan, and me. We have like more than 12 and 20 years of experience in different fields. Thank you very much. I'm open for questions.
Thank you for a great pitch, and it's also a great product. Now let's hear what kind of questions our guests have for you, Razvan.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Razvan, for the pitch. It was quite fascinating. If you could elaborate a bit on your business model, that would be really great. And another following up question: what is your main differentiator? Because in my understanding, the market is a bit congested, not in the EU.
Yeah, you are right about NBFI market. I mean, there are a lot of players in Romania too, and probably in the region. Our business model is focusing very much on a fully digital process. So we provide this line of credit with 100% online. We transfer the money instantly through MasterCard and Visa infrastructure. So we can do this if everything works okay and the client has good incomes. I mean, for his risk profile, we can do this in like 2-5 minutes. So the speed of offering loan is one of our differentiators. We also, I think that this kind of user experience is, at least in Romania, there is no similar experience. I mean, with just a few clicks, you can manage your debt. So you can click and withdraw money. We can click and make an e-commerce payment to repay the debt. I think that this is like unique now in Romania. Regarding the market, it is a very crowded space, but we have a very good interest rates. I mean, we are like maybe 5 times, 10 times. They are 5 times, 10 times lower than other similar companies in our space. So it's about being digital. It's about being fair. It's about perfect customer experience.
Thank you, Ionuț. I see you raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Razvan. Congratulations for what you did. First question is, where do you get the funding in order to give the loans? because I saw that you already gave about 30 million euro.
Yeah.
And the second question is how big is the NPL that you estimate, because you are in the business of taking a lot of risk.
Yeah, very true. About the funding, the main channels of getting finance is like till last year it was like banking loans. So we have one bank that financed our growth, but this year we managed to attract debt through bond issuance and on alternative lending platforms like UVO. So we will be very soon listed on UVO, but we try to handle these debt channels. I mean, to have alternative financing, to have bank debt, to have bonds. So it's a mix of channels. But of course, we consider to raise equity in the next year.
Okay, any more questions for Razvan? Well, if not, okay, go on, Rodica.
Sorry, a quick one. Did you have any clients that missed?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I really forgot to answer to Jonas about NPL. Yeah, we have, of course, it's a challenging environment here, but I think that the risk engine that we have and the algorithm allowed us to limit the NPL below 10%. So right now, I think that it's like about 8%. So yeah, we have, and it's the common business for a non-bank financial institution to have a margin of their loans that will default, but under 10% it's a very good figure, and we aim to calibrate our risk engine to go lower with the NPL.
Okay, so thank you very much, Razvan. Thank you very much also for the questions. It's a very good, interesting project. I think we can go on for some time, but let's stick to the agenda. We'd like to close the event with one of our alumnus, Voxy Kids, who joined the acceleration program for developing the AI component. So, Ana Maria Onica, you have the mic.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for receiving me. Very many nice presentation. I will share my screen right now. Just a moment to hide a little bit the... Is everything all right? You can see the screen. I'm just making sure that...
We see it, yes.
Okay, sorry. So, hi, I am Anna, and I'm the co-founder of Voxy Kids. We digitize speech therapy for children and speech therapists around the world. Right now, the main problem is that the number of children and adults that need speech therapy is rising. And in the new context and before also, the lack of complete digital solution for speech therapy is the main pain of both speech therapists and clients. More speech therapists and from the new generation are tech-oriented and want to approach that therapy in their space, but they don't find a holistic solution for their business. And moreover, the people that we are talking to are complaining that the existing solutions are not very comfortable for their kids or adults with AVC. So our solution is a holistic one. We developed a mobile app that is allowing children and adults to exercise at home between therapy sessions. And beside that, this year we launched Voxy Clinic, which is allowing patients to connect with the speech therapist no matter the distance. Moreover, we have already over 50 clinics from Romania and UK that are on board with us and working with our product right now. So we have a one-stop solution. We are targeting, as I said, speech therapists and also people with language deficiencies. It's an easy-to-use tool. We have patient management, a holistic approach between online therapy and on mobile exercising. And also we have reports and statistics that allow every speech therapist to adjust the therapy during sessions. The total market for the global occupational therapists in the world is around 58 billions. We think we can service Romania, UK, and US in the next 2 years, and we target around over $200 million. The core team is formed for myself as a CEO, Cristian Băiță, which is also the project manager and developer in our company, and we work with over 4 speech therapists from Romania and the UK that are helping us to improve the content and make sure that we are delivering the best tools they need. The go-to-market strategy is simple. We have ambassadors as speech therapists that are promoting us worldwide, partnership in Romania, and that are bringing us more B2C clients, and also the referral campaign that is growing our speech therapy base. The business model is simple. For the B2B, we have a subscription price that is starting with 75 hours per office, but can get over 200 euro per office. It's based on how big or small is the office you are having. The mobile app is designed for children aged 3 to 12, and the subscription is usually paid by the parents, and it starts with 11 euros per month and get up to 65 euros per year. Our main competitors are in UK and in the US. The main differentiator beside for them, we have an AI-based recommendation and pronunciation analysis. We are a multi-language platform. We are having right now Romanian and English language, and we will add in the next year also Spanish. The online tool integration is much better, faster, and all the content can be adjusted for every patient we have in front of us. Also, the reports or statistics are unique and are helping speech therapists to be more focused on their therapy and less on paperwork. We had until now 2 financial rounds that helped us to bring the product to a level of maturity which will help us to improve sales in the next months. So the next round of investment we are targeting, it's around 500K at evaluation of 3.5 million. And we want with this to focus on sales, marketing, and also to prove our concept in the target markets we have right now, UK and US. Our mission is to be key player in providing innovative digital solutions for patients with speech deficiency and also for special education. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ana Maria. And now for the last time, I'm challenging our guests. Do you have any questions for Voxy Kids for Ana Maria?
I don't have a question because I know the project for a while, but I just want to say congratulations again. I think it's such a wonderful project, and it's very nice to close the session with such a beautiful project for children. Good luck with the expansion in the UK and the US. It's going to be challenging, I think.
Yes, we started already with, we have some ambassadors in both countries. And actually, tomorrow will be our first webinar in the UK, and we are presenting our product there.
And how advanced are you with adding Spanish?
I think Spanish will be available from the next year. We are still tackling some stuff regarding the content. We just want to make sure that everything is from the language perspective correct. So this is why we are launching the Spanish next year.
Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Are there any more questions for Ana Maria? So if not, I thank you very much to you, Ana Maria, for joining us today. It's a great project that has been developing very nicely during the past years. I was also looking at it during the time, so congratulations and keep up the good work. Thank you very much also for our guests. They were Rodica Lupu from Techangels, Nikos Georgiou from Octagon Ventures, Dan Oros from Google and YouTube Romania, also Ionuț Pătrăhău from Seedblink and Marius Istrate from 3VC Austria and an UiPath alumnus. Thank you very much for joining us today and helping us with asking good and tough questions for our startups. Okay, so this was our first day of Investor Days, Techcelerator Portfolio Showcase. Many thanks to our guests and the alumni for this great day. Don't forget that we are meeting together again tomorrow, the same hour, 14:30 UTC +3 for the second day of Investors Days Techcelerator Portfolio Showcase. We have top guests from 500 startups, Speed Invest, Gapminder VC, Launch Hub, Octagon VC, and great startups who have made important progresses while working with Techcelerator, and now they are trying to raise the best round for scaling. Many thanks again to all the startup community, our alumni who believed in us and chose to work with us. Moreover, many thanks to our partners for the support along our journey, and the partners are Gapminder Venture Partners, Google for Startups, European Investment Fund, Techangels, and Seedblink. Thank you very much for watching us today. Stay safe and stay motivated. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Ionuț, Rodica, Marius, Nikos, Adrian. Thank you very much.
Accelerate your business. It's change you so you can accelerate it. Accelerator is not accelerate your business. It's change you so you can accelerate it.